Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into something, well, it's a pretty wild idea. The concept that your thoughts, they're not just these quiet, private things happening in your head. Nope. The source material we're looking at says they are actual, tangible forces. Forces that literally build your body, shape your world, and even write your destiny.
So, let's start with the big one. Are your thoughts your greatest asset or your greatest enemy? Now, the reason we're kicking off with this is because, according to our source, your answer to that single question pretty much sets the course for your entire life. Think about it like this. The quality of your mind directly creates the quality of your world. It's that simple.
Okay, so where does all this incredible power actually come from? Well, it all starts with the bedrock of any achievement, self-belief. You can think of it as the engine, the thing that gets everything else moving.
You know, we all grew up with the story of the tortoise and the hare, right? Well, it's actually the perfect example of what we're talking about. The hare, he had all the natural talent, all the potential in the world, but his mind, it was all over the place, unfocused, and that's why he lost. But the tortoise won with one thing and one thing only: steady, unshakable confidence. That race was won in his head long before he ever crossed the finish line.
And our source material has this really powerful way of describing it. Self-belief isn't just, feeling good about yourself. It's described as a real, tangible force, kind of like electricity. Picture the most sophisticated, incredible machine you can imagine. Without electricity, what is it? Just a useless hunk of metal and wires, right? Well, your talent, your abilities, that's the machine. And self-belief, that's the electricity that powers it up and makes it actually do something.
All right, so if self-belief is the power plant, then what are the power lines? How does that energy actually get out there and do stuff? The answer is through your thoughts. And get this, they're described as actual, real, invisible waves of energy.
This is where it gets really interesting. According to the source, a thought never just disappears. It doesn't just vanish. Instead, it continues to exist as a vibration, like an immortal wave rippling out into the subtle medium the text calls the ether. So what does that mean? It means our minds are basically radio towers constantly broadcasting signals out into the universe. Wild, right?
And look, this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. The text actually points to some early, pretty wild experiments that tried to prove this. There was this one guy, Dr. Brendler in Germany, who claimed he could actually photograph these thought forms. And the craziest example, he apparently tuned into a man's worried thoughts about his wife and managed to capture an image of her on a photographic plate. I mean, just imagine. It suggests our thoughts have a real physical signature.
So these thought waves are flying around, but where's the first place they hit? Where's their most immediate impact? Well, it's right inside your own body.
The source puts it really simply and directly. The mind is the master. The body is the servant. That's it. Your mind gives the commands, and your body, like a totally faithful servant, just carries them out. And this is happening all the time, 24/7, whether you realize you're giving those orders or not.
So, what happens when the master, the mind, is full of garbage, full of negativity and distorted thinking? Well, the servant, the body, is the one that suffers. The source says this kind of thinking creates an actual physical toxicity in your system. This isn't just feeling bad. It leads to real problems, like insomnia, fatigue, aches and pains. It even says that anxious thinking can literally shorten your lifespan. And you know what? Modern medicine is really starting to catch up to this idea, recognizing that a stress-free mind is absolutely essential for physical healing.
Okay, but here's the thing. This influence, this power, it doesn't just stop at your own skin. No way. These thought waves radiate outward from you, actively shaping your environment and the people around you.
You know that feeling when you walk into a place and it just has a certain vibe? Like you can just feel it? Well, the source argues that what you're feeling is the leftover energy of thoughts. Think about it. A temple or a church is just soaked in thoughts of peace, faith, devotion, and it feels calm. But a slaughterhouse, filled with thoughts of fear and violence, you can feel that agitation. It's like places absorb and hold on to the mental energy of everything that's happened there.
All right, now we're going to get into what is maybe the most profound, the most powerful example of this entire idea. It's the concept that a mother's thoughts, her inner world, can literally build the character and shape the destiny of her child before they are even born.
Take Napoleon, for example. The source argues he wasn't some kind of historical accident. Not at all.
It says that while his mother was pregnant with him, she was this incredibly brave and daring woman. She spent her days reading stories about heroes, biographies of great men, so her mind was just constantly buzzing with thoughts of courage, of strategy, of leadership. And the idea is that these powerful thought forms were directly absorbed by the developing Napoleon in the womb. It's like he was pre-programmed for military genius before he ever took his first breath.
And this isn't just some one-off story about a famous general. The text gives other examples to back this up. There was an American author, Mary Venetia, who desperately wanted her son to be a great artist. So what did she do during her pregnancy? She spent her days in art galleries, just soaking it all in, immersing herself in beauty. And guess what? Her son became a famous painter. The message here is crystal clear. The mental world a mother creates for her unborn child is an incredibly powerful, lifelong influence.
So all of this brings us to the big takeaway, the so what of it all. If it's true, if our thoughts really do create our reality both inside and out, then the single most powerful thing you can ever do to change your life is to change your thoughts, on purpose.
I love this analogy from the source. It says your mind is like a pair of glasses. So if the lenses are smudged or warped or just the wrong prescription, how does the world look? Distorted, right? If you're seeing problems and negativity everywhere you look, maybe, just maybe, the problem isn't the world. Maybe it's the glasses you're looking through. Clean the lenses, change your thoughts, and the entire world changes in an instant.
So how do you do it? The source lays out a really clear, logical path. It's not magic. Step 1 is just to improve your thought process. Do the inner work. From there, it's a chain reaction. Step 2, right thoughts naturally lead to right actions. You start doing things differently. And step 3, those right actions, done over and over, create happy circumstances. It's a formula. Your outside world becomes a direct printout of what's going on in your head.
And that brings us right back to where we started. If all of this is true, if your thoughts really are these invisible forces shaping your health, your world, and your destiny, then the most important question you could ever ask yourself is, where are my thoughts taking me? Because make no mistake, wherever they're aimed, that is exactly where you're going. So, you got to choose your destination wisely.